Ever wondered what happens to you after you die? Journey of Souls does its best to explain in their own way how the after-death process goes. Stay tuned to hear about what I think about this book. Hi everyone, this is Casper the Boy Diviner here today. If you enjoy such book reviews, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll be more than happy to do this kind of content for you. I just want to know what the kind of response is. Today I'll be reviewing Journey of Souls by Michael Newton. Michael Newton, I think he's a hypnotherapist. He has many clients that ask him for help with their current everyday problems, and what happens is I think he does some sort of hypnotherapy to them, and they actually do past life regressions, talk about their past lives that could have happened, many years ago, right down to the Neanderthals, And I thought this was very interesting because he started asking them what happens between these past lives that led them up to their life of date. So that is the context. He found multiple cases that actually corroborate to form a more complete picture of what happens after you die. This book is the product of that research. Suspending all disbelief, whether clearly it's not a scientific study. Clearly, all of this is pretty anecdotal. I don't think he got anyone to really check his cases, check with the actual customers who went through the hypnotherapy. We can ignore any subliminal messaging that happens in the background of his office that may suggest to people to say the same things again and again and again that creates this whole process. I would say that this book is pretty interesting and it's an easy read. I enjoyed reading it. It was a very quick read. I finished it maybe in like 2 days while walking around, and I found it was an easy read. He talks about death. He talks about what happens next, what happens to the displaced soul from the body, where we go. So he basically covers about how we have other souls that welcome us from death to try to ease us into, what the soul society is. He doesn't say soul society, but I do feel like it's some sort of soul society. Once you come back into the soul society, there are guides, your guides that actually talk to you, and they ask you about what you learned on Earth, and you move on to be sort of judged but not judged. He makes this very clear: judged but not judged by elders. These elder souls or the creatures that are elders. There's also a higher consciousness that the book doesn't really cover, because no one that comes to Earth is close enough to that to know enough about that higher consciousness. We end up talking about the guides, about how we choose our next life, because there is some sort of choosing of the next life. And once you choose your next life, you go in, and what happens when they're a baby, the soul is actually still aware of everything. Only when the baby passes out through the birth canal, it's when they start to have their memories wiped out. The book also talks about why they wipe out their minds, why is there amnesia. Past life regressions only work if the guides feel like that could help their current life. At the same time, this is not really a book that I kind of vibe with or resonate with. I'm very blessed to have friends who recommended this book to me because they really love this book. They really resonate with the messages in this book. And when I talked about why it didn't resonate with me, they accepted what I said, but they still continue with their belief. This is the kind of friends I want. People who are happy to have discourses with me, people who are okay with me disagreeing, and we can agree to disagree and still accept each other's beliefs. This is super important to me. I'm putting myself out here a little because I am sort of criticizing a book that is widely loved by many people. And don't get me wrong, I still recommend people read it because it is really interesting, and I feel like people who have no pre-notions of what afterlife is would enjoy this book. On the other hand, I'm not someone like that. I have done research into afterlife, resonated with other kind of elements of other afterlives. I honestly like the idea of hell. Not the eternity hell that Christianity preaches. I don't believe in the eternal hell, but I like the idea of a Buddhist hell where you go there and pay your sins before getting reborn into something else. And there are certain things that I kind of don't resonate with in this book. One of the biggest issues why I don't resonate with this book, even if the book is right, it is something I'm really disappointed by. He talks about the guides that guide you through your current life. And these guides are actually also souls, similar souls, just at a higher level. So maybe like a level 3 soul who has turned through many more lives before you. They have become to such a stage where they are able, or they are deemed worthy of being a guide and guiding other souls. Not all souls that reach this level have to guide, it's just those with the talent to guide will do so. And I'm glad to hear that, because I don't think I want to be a guiding soul. I say this, and then after I die in soul school, they want me to guide other souls, and I don't know, I don't want to be that. Okay, why that doesn't really resonate with me is because I believe in the idea of Fravashi. As per the Zoroastrians, I believe in the holy guardian angel. I believe in, the holy demon. And all these concepts talk about a piece of the divine that is attached specifically to us, customized to who we are, and they're supposed to guide us towards joining back with the divine. This book talks about people having similar guides, so maybe one guide to 5 souls, and I don't really resonate with the idea. I do believe when I do work with my holy guardian angel, that is a piece that is specific to me. The holy guardian angel is here to help me because they are a part of me and only me. And when we finally get whether we will return to the divine. Okay, I think I got this concept from Kabbalah. So this is one of the parts of the book that I don't resonate with. I like the idea of having a one-to-one match between my guide, or whatever you want to call it, a Fravashi, to myself. And this book doesn't do that. I also don't really enjoy the idea of my Fravashi being humanized. They also were part of this world. The whole point of a Fravashi or a holy demon is that they don't have access to this world. They've never been to this world, and they are sort of trying to help us, and through us also understand what the struggles we are going through are. So that is what I resonate more with, rather than guides are being humans as well who have gone through many lives, who are more advanced than us, whatever that means. I also don't really like how human the afterlife seems in this book. I understand that, because you do hypnotherapy, you're speaking with people who are ultimately humans in this realm. How they explain it tends to be more human. But I don't know, I don't resonate with the idea that there are soul schools or soul groups. I don't enjoy the idea of cliques. And the book makes it feel like it's a very cliquey situation in the afterlife. One of the case studies talk about how him and his buddies are part of a soul group, and they're all kind of like douchebaggy, college bros kind of culture. That didn't really resonate well with me. It's kind of like disappointing, I don't know, but basically you are supposed to be with the souls that resonate well with you. It just feels so human that I don't really appreciate it. I understand that souls can be human, souls can have their flaws, or in the afterlife, whatever you have done in this life has affected who you are and what you do. It just feels like it's taking life pretty lightly in this book, how I feel, because you can always go back and come back again to try again, and no one really blames you for it. There is no kind of big punishment apart from it does cover karma in a very strange way. One of the case studies that they talk about is when a guy went to him because he was really very angry person. He is difficult to work with, and during his past life regression, he saw his mom leaving him, and that's why he's adopted. He's adopted by very strict parents, and it has caused a lot of issues in his life. Apparently, in his past life, he saw himself executing his mom because he was the priest or something, and his mom was against his methods. When he went back to soul school, his mom, a soul that is in his soul group or just connected to him, took her turn to torture him back because he killed her. It just feels pretty human how this discussion goes along. And I prefer thinking more about karma in a different way. I'm kind of Buddhist. I have learned a lot about Buddhism, and I kind of like their explanation more. At the same time, I don't know enough. Apart from having the impression that karma is something natural, it's a natural law, there is no need to have a discussion on how you're going to pay it back. And that's why I kind of prefer it. It's just a law of the world that it's a natural law, like gravity. And I prefer that view of karma more than having like a discussion on the next life and who's gonna get whose retribution, Other parts of the book that I don't resonate with is the lack of some sort of hell or punishment. I find that attractive. I kind of like it. I like seeing demons, and I know not necessarily demons, but like even angry deities, like of the Tibetan Buddhism. It is quite jarring for a soul to go back, and they cover that. They cover that by saying it's jarring, but then immediately someone familiar will come and guide you and make you feel better, and you will start to remember, oh, this is where I'm supposed to go. Conversely, I prefer the explanation in the Tibetan Book of the Dead. In any case, the Tibetan Book of the Dead covers more clearly about all the pains and the fears of going through from death to rebirth, you know. And that's when you see a lot of angry deities. I forgot what is it called, wrathful deities. In Chinese it's like 愤怒. So they are raging deities. There are a lot of spirits. I think I also like the idea of being afraid of being hurt, and then the only way to pass the test is remembering that you don't have a body. I forgot where I heard that from, but these are things that I resonate more with compared to the Journey of Souls, where everything feels so light and easy. Even though the book claims that it's not an easy transition, most of the cases that they show have people guiding them, bringing them to a good place. So there's no real fear. I don't think I can let go of the concept of death being jarring to a soul or to any kind of spirit or who we are. I did enjoy the idea of learning again and again, but one last thing about the book that didn't really jive well with me is that it feels like the timeline of a soul school runs parallel to the timeline on Earth. So they will say things like, oh, Earth is getting worse, you know, you can learn more, but it's not getting any better. And people's past lives all seem to be in the past. None of them are in the future. When you're picking your next life, you can see what happens in the future to some extent, so you can decide on that life. But I don't believe that the afterlife dimensions are restricted to the same timeline that we have. They should be above and beyond our timeline. Your past life should include your future lifetimes. In this world is future, but because you're in another dimension, you could pick a life in year 5000, and then pick a life back in BC 00, and come back and forth. That's how I resonate more with, because the afterlife should be more confusing than going to school and hanging out with your friends. That's basically my take on this book. Nevertheless, I'm so sorry, because I don't know how to really articulate what's so good about this book. I still think it's a good book. I think it's a worthy read. I think it opens up your mind. It really makes you think, can I really accept the afterlife like this? And if I can, what do I look forward to? What should I do more to have a good afterlife? So those are the kind of good points to this book. It really opens your mind, makes you think. For me, after reading the book, it made me really think about what I expect from my afterlife and what I'm looking for and what I'm hoping to see. I'm hoping to feel more than that. And that pushed me to read more about the Tibetan Book of the Dead. I think, the one I'm trying to cover is the Fremantle translation, and I hope that one would give me a better concept of what I would expect after life. And you know, it pushed me to really research what other types of afterlife books there are. I wonder what you guys think about this book if you have read it. Let me know if it really resonates with you. I'm happy to hear from you. I already have conversations with my friends about why they feel like this book was so important to them, why they agree with it, and I can't say no, because everyone is different, right? Maybe, who knows, maybe the people who resonate more with the Journey of Souls go to that kind of soul school, and people like me who is so cynical, we actually go to hell and see hell for what it is, you know? We can't deny that we don't know. And yeah, I just hope you guys enjoyed this point of view and enjoyed my points. If you disagree, I'm more than happy to hear your discussions. I really just appreciate you watching up to this point. Okay? You guys have a great rest of the day. You take care. Bye!